All right, guys, Craig and Kaz here from the This Is Raleigh podcast, kicking off another episode from the Earfluence studio here in the Warehouse District. And it's been a big week in Raleigh. We had the NC State Fair started yesterday.
Yep.
The Hurricanes had their first home game last night and they beat the New York Islanders 6-3. And even Harry Styles has been in town.
Yes.
So that was exciting.
Harry. I'm sad we missed Harry. I love Harry Styles.
Yeah.
I'm a fangirl.
I'm sure. I could have dressed up too. I saw a lot of interesting dress-ups and characters there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But today is an exciting day for our podcast because we have our first ever guest. And it's always been thanks for coming along. It's always been our intention to share others' local stories who are out in the community doing inspiring and awesome things.
Yes, and I love today's guest, and I was happy that she is our first. Hannah is now my friend. We're chatting with Hannah Weisberg, and actually Hannah and I had a big event last night. Speaking of big events, we were out on the trolley tour in Raleigh. First time trying it, have wanted to do it for a very long time since I first saw them in Nashville, and thanks to Hannah, I was on there pedaling around the city last night drinking spritzers and stopping in at bars. Welcome, Hannah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was so fun, unexpected. Again, I mixed the regular trolley of the historical facts where you ride around and have spritzers and it be a calm pedaling experience with a full-on bar crawl. So
a lot of yahooing, no doubt.
It was.
Yeehaw.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. We fully embraced it. It was fun.
So just spritzers, like no beer or
So
like
you can get beer.
other adult beverages.
Yeah, you can bring they don't allow liquor, but you can bring anything else. Some of the girls brought hard kombuchas. They have things you can purchase from them. You can bring your own. It's really like if you're looking for a way to even explore like different bars or just going out downtown if you have people visiting, it's such a fun thing to do. And it's a good 2-hour block, and then from there you can just like go out after.
Cool.
Ideally, if you're planning for it. I did not know that was what was happening.
Yeah.
They're the best kind of experiences.
Yeah, I'm
ones.
missing a bar crawl. I've been thinking about doing one for a while. It's been a long time. So yeah.
It was fun, and we went to London Bridge Pub, which we've spoken about before and we love, and we also ended up at a new bar that none of us had even realised opened, where Snoopy's used to be at the bottom of Glenwood Avenue.
Oh, okay.
It's called The Avenue.
The Avenue.
Yeah, it's prime real estate.
It's beautiful. They've completely gutted it. They have the extra large like outdoor games set up. They have a little green space, live music.
Fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
It was really good. And then we noticed the hotel next door that's opened.
Oh yes, the
AC
Hotel.
Yeah.
That's officially open, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
we didn't even know. So that was the surprise of last night. So there you go, Raleigh. There's some new places for you to check out.
Yeah, always
Discovered
something new
on
and
our
exciting
trolley tour.
happening. So yeah, we'll have to go and pedal around for 2 hours.
2 hours.
It goes quickly.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
We were saying like it should be longer because you get to the point where you're having so much fun and then it's over.
Yeah.
And you get to choose your own music.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
that was a really fun part about it, actually. We had some 90s Spice Girls and Kylie
Yes.
Minogue happening.
Kylie Minogue, look
Yes,
out, bringing
it
the
was
Aussie
so
flavour.
Fun.
Yeah. Can't get you out of my head.
That's
Can't
hilarious.
beat it on a trolley tour.
No, you can't get that song out of your head once you hear it over and over and over. She was smart to create that one.
So true.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Hannah, the reason I wanted Hannah to come on today, she is, by the way, a bona fide Raleigh local.
Yes.
Born and raised here. Yep. And then disappeared to go and live in some big cities around the US, and a few years ago relocated back to Raleigh, and during that time started Dove and Olive Mercantile, a brick and mortar business, and had lots of success with that. But then, all things COVID that impacted so many businesses, it impacted Hannah's. And so she bravely stepped out to create the Women's Social Club, which is the very reason we were on the trolley tour last night. And it's something I joined several months ago. It's the best decision that I've made. settling back into Raleigh, getting to meet new people. But what Hannah's done with this is incredible, and I want Hannah to share all of it. But what I love about it is not only is it bring women together to hang out and meet and have fun, but you introduce us to incredible businesses in the Raleigh community and also help us to be aware of non-profit organisations, which we learn about and then actually volunteer at.
Yes.
So really happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yep.
Thank you.
To chat about all of the things.
All the things. All the things social and
Yes.
networking and local biz. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So let's dive in first. You can give a little bit of your background and this journey that you've been on and how it brought you to where we are now with the Women's Social Club. Yeah.
Yeah, my official career background was in advertising and marketing. That's what I went to school for. That's what I did after college until I had my son Owen, and then I freelanced doing that. My husband and I, we've moved around quite a bit. So one of the things when we moved back to Raleigh, even though I'm born and raised here, again, we left and came back. So I didn't really feel connected. My family was here, but they don't live in Raleigh. They live outside of Raleigh. So we had been here for, I don't know, a year or so. And I was like, I wish there was a place you could go where you could hang out, you could meet your neighbors, like people in the neighborhood. There'd be fun things to do. You can take your kids, and it could be just like a fun community space. Because we would take Owen out and we would go places, and it was either, all college kids, going out day drinking and getting crazy.
Having shots on trolley tours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or it
At
was
10 a.m.
completely empty because it would be open, but no one was there. So that's kind of where Dove and Olive started, was just a community space. And then when we opened, people started booking it for workshops and events. And pivoting that business is really what has helped me learn how to be so versatile and pivot Women's Social Club without overanalyzing everything. So getting to really unintentionally test out how to run a business and to be versatile and to just roll with the punches. Unintentionally, Dove and Olive was that for me. So we fully pivoted from being a retail and cafe space that occasionally did workshops to full-on by appointment only workshops and events. And then COVID hit, obviously, and we just had an indoor space where you come inside for events and drink and eat. So obviously that wasn't something that after a certain time we realized that wasn't going to be possible to stay open. But one of the things that was actually supposed to launch the week that COVID shut down was my very first Women's Social Club event. It was going to be once a month as part of Dove and Olive's private events, doing a women in business club where it wasn't just entrepreneurs, but women in business would come. They would share their stories. We would have networking, wine, and just a time for us to all get together and bounce ideas off of each other. Because that is how Dove and Olive really came to be, was other business owners letting me talk to them about my ideas and them pouring into me. And so that's how it all started, was providing a way for women to come together to help each other in business. And then it's just naturally progressed from there.
Women supporting women.
Yes.
A lot of power in that.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. And I think the pivot's been the buzzword the last 12 months. We've all been pivoting somehow. So yeah, that's very cool. It's hard to meet Raleigh locals these days because so many people moving in from out of state. So you did grow up in the area, or just out of downtown, and went to local schools here and everything, and then lived in various parts of the US and overseas as well.
So when I was little, kindergarten through, third grade, we actually lived in downtown in 5 Points. We lived in a duplex not far from where we currently live now, which is so crazy.
Wow, come full circle.
So it's really crazy to see how it how we ended up, like literally back where it all started.
I love 5 Points. I guess it's changed beautiful. A ton since then as well.
I mean, even in the last 3 years since we've been back, it's completely changed.
It really has.
But my grandmother, she worked for Hudson Belks. It was a department store. It was downtown. Everything downtown was commercial back then. So people there was like nowhere to go other than like a couple of little cafes that people would eat lunch at. So my experience coming downtown was to visit her working. And like, I don't remember much about being in the city. People just didn't come downtown. And so even growing up, like my friends went to State, we would go out around NC State, like Hillsborough Street. That's always been a fun area. But that was one of the things, like when I was graduating college, I was like, I'm ready to like go and explore and see other places. And New York City was always like the top of my list. I don't know why. It was just always like, I'm going to move to New York. There was never a question.
Raleigh to New York. Awesome. I mean, I think everyone would like to do a bit of time in New York City. I know I would. Maybe not so much anymore, but I always want to spend like 4 months or so in New York. Not in the winter time. That'd be brutal.
No, it is a hard place to be.
But we love visiting there, and just the energy just gets you the minute you emerge out of the subway onto the street and stuff. That's great.
Yeah, it is. It has a special kind of energy that just gets you buzzing and you're excited. And I can imagine like living amongst that opens up your mind so much helps you to see different ways of being and opportunity and all that. So how did New York impact your view to kind of be where you are now? Like, did that help you see things in a different way? Did it give you courage or confidence to see that you could go out on your own and create something?
Definitely. I mean, living in a bigger city where it's known to chew people up and spit them out, and having made it and successfully made it, had an amazing group of friends. We all worked together, which was how we met, and we lived together and we played together. It was amazing. So having that structure and having just like the best mentors during that time for my business. It was my first taste of entrepreneurship because the owner and like my direct like bosses, they were all had that entrepreneur spirit. So unintentionally, I was absorbing a lot of the things I was getting to be a part of. And now it's this massive, successful business, very corporate and all of the things. But it was really cool to be a part of like the founding days. So I think that definitely unintentionally, like it gave me confidence and it gave me sort of a background in like building a business.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and the marketing side of things, because one of the things that really, when I first came across you, I believe was on Instagram, and that's the thing that really drew me in, because your branding is so good and the energy you put out in the content, and you speak in a very relevant way to your intended audience. So I guess that definitely comes through in your business now. And
well,
that's
sure. Good to know. I'm glad. That's the code.
Check that box.
Yes, I did learn.
Your job
from
is done.
Ben. Yes. Centro is my company that I started out with in New York, and it was a media marketing company. And so, yes, I learned a lot from them that it's important to build your brand identity and like having that. And they pivoted their brand a couple of times when I was there, but they did it very well. And so again, it was like unintentionally, I'd like seen that, and it was so ingrained in me that like visuals and then the words you choose and the people that work for you and all of that, the website, the social media, like all of that needs to be, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to give a very clear picture of like who you are. So spending money and time on that on the front end has been a huge like expense, but it's worth it.
Yeah, totally. Or from content, we know content marketing, like you have like seconds to grab someone's attention, and when they come on your website and explain what you do, or they're going to bounce and they're gone straight away. Probably the same with social, because everyone's just like scrolling. So very cool.
That's a really important tip or insight for people thinking. We know Raleigh's quite an entrepreneurial energy sort of place, so I'm sure a lot of people listening is that in the environment that we live in, the world that we live in, we all know we can open up a website, get an Instagram page, and away we go. And we don't have to put much money into a business, which is one of the super valuable things about an online business. But what's really important that you've brought up there is it is a business, so it does require an investment, and getting it right at the start, especially with something that you think, I can go on Canva and create my own templates, etc. Well, we have done that and failed numerous times because we don't have that skill.
Me either.
So you're better off investing in, as you said, get it right from the beginning, because that's one of the hardest things, is getting your branding, messaging and marketing right.
We're still trying to figure it out. And you wouldn't want to see our first websites that we built from scratch. Or like terrible. Vomit, like non-functional, ugly. I mean,
Even my one for Dove and Olive, I mean, I didn't use a great website provider. I didn't have a ton of money. I was bootstrapping everything, and even the first website for Women's Social Club. But as soon as I launched the club and we started getting money in for memberships, all of that money went into the brand development. So immediately within like 3 months of launching, we branded everything and redid it. So I think it's definitely like, it's important to show up. I think that's really important. And knowing that, like, what it's like the day you start is not going to be what it looks like forever.
No. That's what they say, like, jump and grow your wings on the way down. Because you're always tweaking something. Like, it's never going to be perfect. Like,
And I have met so many women who have great ideas. And they're like, me and my friend have really thought about this. And I'm like, that would do fantastic here. And they're like, but we don't have this right, or we're not ready to do that. And I'm just like, in my mind, sometimes I say it, sometimes I don't. But I'm like, you should just try it.
Just
and
get
if
started.
It fails, who cares?
Yeah.
Like
Just get
Dove
started.
and Olive, it closed, but like it taught me a lot, and I was able to take relationships from that and learning lessons to do Women's Social Club.
I mean, it's never a failure unless you don't learn from it. If you don't learn from it, then there's no point to it. So that's a failure. But these things in our life happen for a reason, to help us grow into the next version of ourselves, which is what you've done with Women's Social Club. And I like how you're talking a lot about, women supporting women, which is what you've created with the group. So dive into a little bit for people listening, so they understand how the Women's Social Club works, like your mission, purpose behind it, and the different parts of it that create this very unique thing. Because, we've lived around the world and traveled so much, and it's so hard to settle into a new community. And I've never really seen a group set up like this, and it's so valuable. So I'll let you share more about that.
It's really been about plugging in, because again, when I moved back from New York, it was like I just didn't fit anywhere. I would do book clubs and like tried all the things and like would do the mom hangouts, and it just, I couldn't find like the right fit and my people. And like, we would go to restaurants and we would be active in the community, but like you didn't have like relationships with anyone. So it was very like lonely. So really the Women's Social Club is built with a layered approach to supporting women. So obviously the members, we build friendships, we network, we support each other in that way. But it's very intentional that we use women-owned businesses and venues, so that when we're like Y Hill, like Sarah is the co-owner there. So pouring our money back into women-owned businesses here. And then with our networking nights and workshops featuring women-owned businesses to teach us about their products and services. And it's been amazing, because following the events that we've done, I've heard from coaches and like Houseplant Hippie and people have hired them for, ongoing services
Yes.
and products. And, that's life-changing for some of these businesses.
Yeah.
And
It is.
that's an amazing thing. So it's really supporting women, in every way that we possibly can, like layered approach to it.
Well, we're going to hire the Houseplant
We
Hippie,
are.
get into our
Yes,
place
I heard.
Yes.
we
are.
our place needs some plants and some loving, and
Yes.
we are clueless. We
I
kill plants.
everything, so
We
I
kill
don't want
plants.
to kill them.
Particularly,
I really don't.
yeah, particularly when we travel and go
Houseplant
away a
hippie.
lot, and like
Yes.
they kind of get left alone, and we don't know how to maintain
She has
them
a
and stuff.
plan
But
for everything.
yeah. Bring
she,
some.
She has a service. If you go away, she'll
Oh,
come and
really?
Yeah.
and
Like
water
a,
them.
like a pet sitting service,
Yes,
but for plants.
literally.
Yeah.
Awesome. She's hired.
Yes.
Yeah, we need some oxygen, we need some plant life,
Yes.
and some colour, and and
She's actually coming. We're going with Houseplant Hippie for another event this
Yes.
month, and we're doing pumpkin.
Yes, succulent pumpkin
pumpkin
workshop.
workshop.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and talk about branding. Like you want something that's catchy and memorable, like
Yes.
Houseplant Hippie. How cool is
Yes.
that?
Yeah, very cool.
And women really get to know each other better. I think anyone, not just women, men too. When you're doing an activity, it's less awkward. So, like,
True. Yep.
you are busy, so you're not thinking about or overthinking about how to communicate with someone or like breaking the ice. Like,
Yeah.
and you're coming into a group where none of us knew each other. Like, literally none of us knew each other. Not one of us came with a group of friends or even one friend. We all showed up knowing that we were there to, like, meet new people. And so that's one of the things when people reach out about joining, that they're hesitant to come because they don't know anyone and they're new. I'm like, no, that should be incentive, because we
Yeah.
all are excited to meet new people. That's
Yeah.
part of the draw of the group. And unintentionally, we have a lot of transplants. So I would say 75% of our members have just moved here within
Yeah.
the last, like, 2 years. Some even within the last 2 months. And so it's been really fun that they find out about me before they move. And then they join, like, right when they move. And I think really feeling connected and feeling like a place is home, getting to know the owners of the local places that you go. Because then it feels like, hey, Sarah, like, how are you guys, how are you and Chris doing? Like, when we go to Y Hill. And Vita Vitae, like, knowing Lauren and saying, hey, like, I loved the wine. Like, where did you get it? Like, having that relationship, it just makes it feel like you fit, like
Yes,
you're
you
there.
belong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then having the community of women. So you have people you connect with on a deeper level. So you have friends, and then you make plans outside of the group. And then the nonprofit aspect of it, that just really happened by accident. We brought in Terrence Ruth. He's running for mayor. He's married to Kiara, who does the Banana Moon blog. She was our very first speaker. She talked about imposter syndrome. And she's just been a huge supporter of the Women's Social Club since before we launched, even. So when Terrence came and he did a speaking about community engagement and the things that really move the needle, it really was like, ooh, this could be good. Like, this could be something. And so he gave us, like, a list of places, really, like, that would be great partners. And he started spreading our name to other people, so they started reaching out about partnering up to do volunteer events. And that's been a really cool way where I feel plugged into the community in a deeper way.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
you're, like, giving back, because
Yeah.
you're getting so much out, but then you're giving back. And then you really feel like it's your home.
Yeah, that's right. It's the whole planting roots thing.
Yes.
And when you plant roots, that part of belonging is being connected to the community. It is serving your community, as you said, supporting locally owned businesses, learning about the non-profits and doing what you can to give back. So I think you've really nailed in this concept what it means to plant roots and settle down. You've got all those different aspects. And from my personal experience, what I really love, because, you know, we have done this over and over again, every time we've resettled, trying to find the right fit. And it is so hard, and it can be so awkward. But the thing that struck out to me, and the first time I came to an event, I came home to Craig straight away and I said, I think I found my tribe. Like, this is amazing. Yeah. And the thing that it was, and I think it was that different energy you said, where everyone's there willing to meet new people. Everybody was so warm and welcoming to me, and it really surprised me because I walked in and it was like I was immediately embraced as a friend. Immediately. Yeah. So it was really, and I see that when new members come in now, they're immediately embraced, and now these friendships are forming. We're doing good work together and having loads of fun, and it's a great
because we went into this 2-year pattern that we were moving every 2 years and trying to
I have been there.
And then we had the intention of, now that we're rooted in Raleigh permanently, like to really get out in the community and meet new people and stuff like that. And you know, we did the 1-year RV road trip around the US, and then COVID last year has been like frustrating. How do we get into the community? And so I'm glad that you found your space there, because we're a little bit different being from Oz. And it's everyone's different, but it's cool how you said, like, you know, if someone's a bit shy or anxious, like doing activities and stuff is a nice way to ease into the group, and without having to turn up and, you know, just, you know.
Exactly. And we have such a wide range of like ages, personalities, industries, and it's so fun because, like, even last night, like, one of the ladies, she was stuck in traffic. So one of the other members was, like, texting her. And, I mean, there's probably a 15-year age difference between them. But, like, I mean, it's so cool to see, like, how we're all friends. I mean, literally, I would hang out with them. It's part of my business, but, like, it isn't. Like, it's personal, too.
Yeah.
Like, I consider everyone in the club to be like my friend, like my personal friend.
Nice. So how many members are we at now, and how often do you do like you rotate between having a guest speaker and doing a like activity and stuff?
I try to balance it out. So typically I do one workshop a month. I'm trying to do one like explore or go to a new place a month now that we're able to. When we weren't able to, it was a little bit different. So that's been one of those pivoting things. When we had sort of one location in one place, I would do one networking night a month, one workshop a month, and one community building. But now that restrictions are lifting and it's a little bit easier to actually go places, and we have Hartwell Space, which I'm not co-owner, I'm managing partner of. I'm helping them run their events and workshops there. And as a bonus, Women's Social Club gets to use their space for our events. So we'll do an exploring night, like our unintentional bar crawl last night.
Fun.
I don't know how unintentional it was. Come on.
Oh my gosh. So we'll do that, and then we'll do a workshop. And then we'll combine like a networking community building night. So it really too, it's so organic. I meet people constantly, and I will change things out. So I have everything booked through December right now, but I have no doubt in my mind that it will change. Like,
I love that, the flexibility to go with the flow. And and I think, you know, you've mentioned pivot a lot, so I guess during COVID I think we all learned, but, you know, especially when you're starting a business in COVID, you've had to pivot an incredible amount and change how things have been done and adapt and all of that. So you're probably tired of doing that right now, but do you see any more pivoting? I know you're going with the flow with the Women's Social Club, but do you have any other plans to expand or evolve it?
Yes. So I'm thinking in January it will change a little bit. Right now we meet 3 times a month.
More socializing. That's what I like to do.
It is. More socializing.
Priorities. Come on.
So it's more like I'm going to be doing, I mean, I don't know for sure, but this is kind of the plan I see it going into. Having 2 bigger socials a month versus 3 meetups, and having it be, you know, different times. So right now I send surveys out to the members and trying to figure out what day of the week, what time frame works best. And so that's kind of where we're at now. But as we have more people interested in joining and schedules and things like that, I'm seeing that we need to have like more options than that. So I'm playing with like beefing up our socials to be more like than just an hour and a half or 2 hours and doing 3 of them, and maybe doing some weekend events and trips and, you know,
fun.
like weekend things. And so we'll see what happens with that. But as far as growing, we do have a plan to launch a women's social club in New York City.
Love it.
Next fall. Over the next year, and right now I'm just building the base for that. So because we lived there, I have sort of an existing network.
Sure.
So tapping back into that, getting to know venues, potential networking partners and workshop partners and things like that. And then once we have it in 2 cities that are completely different sizes and we have it optimized there, then I do see it being in a place where we can do it nationwide and people can be chapter directors and bring it to their city.
Yeah, fantastic. I guess Raleigh to New York City, like the pace of life and the competitiveness is vastly different.
And everyone in New York City is a transplant. So it's like I would have loved to have like a women's social club there.
Yeah.
And then also like being a parent there, I've lived there having Owen, and I didn't work. I just did freelance from home. And New York can be a very lonely place. Like you are surrounded by so many people. So I think it could be a really cool fit.
I guess everyone's on the go, fast paced in New York, and always busy, always got to be somewhere, always doing something. And like you said, you get chewed up and spat out, or you sink or swim.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so valuable for any city because we know so many people, you know, they talk to us, I want to go and live in another country. And but the one thing they're the most worried and nervous about is meeting new people. And so it's women in particular, I think. So this is like so amazing to arrive in a new city, and the first thing people say, well, how do I meet new people? It's like, well, why don't you try the Women's Social Club? And there's one really valuable way. Not only do they get to meet new people, but learn about the community and feel like they belong. Because we know people who, when we first came over to live in Raleigh, they left like 3 months later because they didn't plant
They
those
isolated
roots.
themselves.
Yeah.
Like they worked their job Monday to Friday, and then all weekend they stayed home in their apartment. I'm like, you make an effort and get out in the community. I guess how we used to meet people is like either through jobs, and now if you have kids, like if they play a particular sport, or I mean it's difficult at school now, like with carpooling, because you don't even get to speak to parents, which is different for us from Australia because you're sitting in your car the whole time. But I guess workplace, sports, like hobbies and interests. But I mean, you don't always meet your tribe, but like if you create that tribe that everyone connects with, you know,
and
makes
it
life easier.
Be like, it's kind of like, not this name, but the Hinge app, how it's designed to be deleted. Like literally we have members who, like Lynn, who's leading our workshop next week, she is the founder of Back to the South Bling. She joined us as a networking group to like grow her business. And even outside, I'm not saying Women's Social Club helped her grow her business, but her business grew so much that she like didn't have time to come to any of the events. So she had to end her membership, but like we're still friends, and like she's doing one of our workshops next week. So it's a really great community where it's like it may just serve a purpose for a season, but like you'll always have that group. Like just because you're not an active member at the time doesn't mean you're like out. We all keep in touch.
Yeah.
And how many members currently?
So we have 44 like signed up active members. Typically around 15 people come to each event. So we have 3 meetups a month, and most people will come to 2 events a month. And then we've just launched our visitor options, so you don't have to be a member. If you're just trying to look for something fun to do, you have a friend in town. I mean, we've had people to do that, where like the succulent workshop that we have coming up with Houseplant Hippie. We have a couple of people joining for that that really are using it as a way to come to a fun event with a friend. Or to come and test it out before you sign up for a membership. So the visitor options has been an amazing way for women to come and get to meet us and see, like, oh, this is like the real deal.
Yeah, I do feel welcome here. Yeah.
So that's been fun to like be able to do that.
Nice.
And what are some of your favorite or anything particular you want to share about some of the businesses, non-profits, etc., that you are getting the chance to meet, experience, and share with the community?
I mean, Design for Joy has been one of my favorite ones. Bloom Here, who we have just recently met, and then No Woman, No Girl. I mean, those are just three that have personally deeply impacted me, specifically because they pour into vulnerable women in our community. And it is getting involved with a totally different, unreached part of our women community here. And it's been really powerful to see some of the members sign up outside of Women's Social Club and get involved with these amazing communities. And like Katie, she is our volunteer ambassador. I had a Heartwell commitment last weekend, and she fully planned and led and executed a volunteer day for the Women's Social Club at No Woman, No Girl with Shernetta. And so it's just so
leaving
amazing.
An impact.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah, so valuable to the community to learn about that. And so No Woman, No Girl helps provide essential items to vulnerable women in the community, young girls. And Design for Joy, I'm trying to think of the right terminology about the pay. A living wage. Yes. Pay a living wage to vulnerable women.
Yes.
And then the Bloom, I missed that event, so I didn't learn about Bloom here.
It is pouring. So the owner, Melinda, or the founder, Melinda, she comes from a like women's like cosmetic background and, you know, like taking care of self-care. And so she went through some difficulties in her life and was like, I have the financial means to take care of myself. Well, what happens with these other women who don't? Like, how do they do this? So she has found a home, and it basically houses, I think, up to 4 women at a time come and live. They get a job, so they have different, right now I think it's essential oils that they put together, each one, and it's named for each woman that works there, and then all sales that go from those oils go back to that woman. And then so she's learning and getting a skill, and then from there she's also like learning what her interests are, because I think some women don't even get that opportunity to even know, like, what, I don't even know if I have an interest. Like, what is that? And then they have dental care and health care and just a place to completely have therapy and just get back on their feet. I think it's a 2-year program.
Oh, I love that. That's so good.
So, yeah, it's really powerful.
Yeah, and to hear the stories, I know for Design for Joy, when they were sharing the stories, and one thing that struck out to me is they shared a story of one of the vulnerable women there that worked in the space, and how she was just going through some challenging times, as we all do, and couldn't pay a traffic violation. And from that ended up in prison. Homeless, I think, in prison.
Oh,
and
wow.
just this awful spiral, which then she had to go into prostitution to help herself survive, and all because of a parking ticket, which we've all been in that situation, I'm sure, somewhere in life where it's like, if I got a parking ticket, I wouldn't be able to pay for it. Something simple like that can cause this downward spiral.
Yes. So really giving, like, I feel like the Women's Social Club, it's really important giving platforms as we continue to grow and letting these women use our platform to further their message. So it's not necessarily like me or the women's social club necessarily doing anything. It's furthering the message of the women we meet and allowing them to use our audience to gain traction and to
amplify
become successful.
it and stuff. Yeah. Awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
All the above, all the things.
Yeah, so good. I was just thinking yesterday, I published a post yesterday that I wrote about Bodie Ghost Town, which I recently visited in California. And I wrote about it in there, which is while it's in my memory, and how I said I'm really fortunate that my girls now live in a society where they have great opportunities to earn their own money, because what happened to a lot of the women in that gold mining town, their husbands died while mining for gold, and to support themselves they had to go into prostitution. So it was like, I'm so grateful that women now have so many ways to support themselves, and then finding so many things within the community now that are supporting women.
And sometimes
important.
people just need to know they matter. I think in that they can come and have a friend. I mean, I felt like I had acquaintances, but I didn't have this super tight friend group because we moved around so much. Even the friends I grew up with, I wasn't here to foster that relationship as much. So I don't know. I think and introducing them to women who are in different vulnerable situations, and being friends with all the women, bringing all the women together, because we all need community.
We
and
do.
then from
that
there,
social
it's
interaction is so meaningful and important, especially after last year being isolated and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, we know too, because like I said, we're moving every 2 years. I mean, we always knew we were moving, so we probably didn't put in a lot of effort to build deep relationships. So we're kind of
surface.
Yeah, surface, superficial, So, but now, we're living here permanently. That's what we're all seeking out.
Yes.
So, yeah, love it. Awesome.
We're diving deep.
When is the husband starting the men's social group where we just golf and brewery hop and watch sports and stuff? Is sign me up. I'll be the founding member.
As long as you don't have events on the same night, because Craig and I have got to juggle the childcare.
I'm going to come around and put a dollar bill on your fridge. That's the first investments in the men's social club. Let's kick it off.
It's not just you, several of the women's husbands, even last night.
Do something. Get my husband doing something.
They were FaceTiming them from the trolley. And they were like, I wish that I could have had a group I could go do that with.
I'm jealous.
So
and then Sarah's husband was in downtown supporting her in a wonderful way so that he could drive her home. She could have a few drinks. And we cycled past him and we're waving and he's laughing.
Yeah,
and
I'm committed.
It was lovely.
We need to chat.
Yes. I do joke with Brian that he needs to do it. He loves organizing events too. So
this is perfect,
it
Brian.
could be.
Wow.
It could be in the future.
Yeah, well, we need help with that too, because we want to start doing our own meetups somewhere as well. So
Yeah.
Fun.
So fun. So tell us some of your favourites in Raleigh, though. Raleigh. Then we're going to lots of different places, but it could be somewhere we haven't been yet with the Women's Social Club. But especially being a local and being here for so long, what are some of your Raleigh favourites?
Love to get the tips. So if you had a friend visiting from New York or out of town, where would you take them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
So I told Caroline last night, it's really funny. We found a cute little spot by accident in our neighborhood. So we live in the Mordecai Oakwood area, and we had a big night the night before with some friends for my birthday.
40th.
Again,
has to be.
Yes, it was a fun night.
Wow.
So we needed some soul food situation.
Oh, I know that.
Yes.
I know that scenario.
Exactly.
The grease fix, the hearty hangover munchies.
Yes, and my husband looked it up, and it's the Smokestack Cafe. They're in the heart of the Oakwood neighborhood, so it's just the most beautiful. It's in a tiny little house. They do slushies that are made with wine while you wait.
Ooh,
because
so
they don't take reservations.
Straight back into it.
Yes. So Sunday brunch, hands down, would recommend them.
Okay, we're
The
doing it.
the smokehouse.
Smokestack.
Smokestack Cafe.
Yep.
In Oakwood.
In
And
Oakwood.
It's all Southern, like soul food, fun drinks, and it's just the cutest environment. It's in an old house and surrounded by beautiful old historic homes. So,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Bit of character and history thrown
Yes.
in on the side.
Yes.
Love it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not booked in, but we'll be first in line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's probably my newest favorite. And then I was able to go to Jolie recently on their rooftop. That was somewhere that was on my list, but it's like one of those places always books out so far.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is literally what Brian and I do for date nights is we will just look up some of our favorite restaurants that we want to try or go to that are on our list, and we just book a date. And if we can't make it, we cancel it. But like then it's booked and you have
Locked in.
Love that.
Yeah.
Great idea.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of how it worked with Jolie.
Yeah, that's on our list too. So
Great
that's Scott Crawford's restaurant
Yes.
above, well,
Person
kind of
Street.
above Crawford and Son. We had a
Yes.
date night there, and the food was amazing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
yeah.
I've
We-
eaten at both and they're incredible.
Yeah, I don't think his new place is open in Clayton yet. You might know.
It's not open
coming.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's awesome. Like we love North Person Street. Period.
Yes.
Like what a great place. Talk about things changing. Like we used to drive to our friend's
gosh.
place in Mordecai when we first moved to Raleigh in like 04, 05, and there was no reason to stop
No.
in North Person Street. Now it's
Never.
like probably our favorite street in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Like with Crawford and Son, Pelagic, standard beer and
The
food.
City Farm. It's
City
one of my favourite
Farm.
spots.
Yes.
In the
Raleigh
city.
City
Yeah.
Farm.
City Farm,
Yes.
Yellow
And
Dog
Yellow
Bakery,
Dog,
Two
yes.
Roosters Ice Cream. Like the kids are happy too. Two Roosters, we can sit at the standard beer and they can go and get an
Yes.
ice cream. It's like Person Street Bar. That other bar escapes me again. Remember we spoke about it
William
yesterday?
and Company.
William and Company.
Oh yeah.
That's a cool spot too.
That is
Have you had a
cute.
drink there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We went there for the first time recently.
Yeah. Oakwood Pizza Box is like, it's all literally
yeah.
within a couple of 100 feet walk.
Yeah.
Like it's great.
It's our favorite place to go. Person Street because it is so close, and then we always see people we know when we're out there. So it's fun because one of us will see someone. So
Yeah.
if you're in the mood to be social and you just want to like go grab a drink, you know you're going to like and meet people.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like the nicest group of people that like just organically go and
Yeah.
hang out there. So that's probably my favorite place to be is
You can
on
do it all
Person
there.
Street.
You could do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You got the
Exactly.
station.
And shopping.
You got Krispy Kreme.
Yes.
It's like endless. Yeah, Edge of Urge and that other cool place across the street
Yeah.
that you go down and there's like that men's
It's a men's like social club
like
at
a
retail.
Yeah.
saloon.
Yeah.
It's like a little saloon bar thing in there too.
It's really fun.
Interesting.
Actually.
Yes.
And then you have history there because you have the Mordecai
House.
historic area
yeah.
where the president was born. One of the
Yeah.
presidents. And
Oh,
then
we'll have to
the
move in. Like
Oakwood
we'd have
area.
to sell our house and we're moving.
Yeah, y'all just went through all that process.
I
Oh
know.
my God,
Not doing
never
it.
The
again.
craziness. Oh, we love the
Not in
crazy.
this market. No, thank you.
We embrace the crazy.
Yes, I don't want to do it again.
So yeah, lived in Raleigh, New York. So where else have you lived?
So we lived in Boston.
Okay.
Straight from New York, we moved to Boston for Brian to go to get his master's there. He actually got his undergrad in Boston, so he again had this like built-in group. So I had a really hard time leaving New York because I had created this like friend family for myself. It's only a train ride away, so it was easy to still like go back and forth. And I ended up working for the same company while we lived there. But yeah, we lived in Boston. We lived in Miami for like 6 months. It was not for us. We are
Too
not
hot.
Miami people.
What,
Yeah.
not beach people or just what?
I think the
what was it about
hardest
Miami?
part, again, it was like the meeting people. We would meet the most fun people, but they would be on vacation. And then they would leave.
Yeah, that was
And
probably
then
us.
next
We had
weekend,
a
yeah.
big night in Miami way back when and slept in our car. It was that big.
Yeah, I believe it.
We were also
Yes.
very budget.
Yes, this
Yes.
was
Savings
pre
and
kids,
accommodation.
responsibilities. And
Yeah.
we'll I think we did book into a hotel, but we had
No,
the
we
thing on the roof and we couldn't park the car in there or something. So we thought, bugger it, we're just going to sleep in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Something like that
I
happened.
imagine
It's
it
all-
would
I feel
it's
like
all coming back to me.
Australians are more open to things like that.
It was like it was like glamping in our van in
Yeah.
this random dodgy car park behind
my
all these
God.
clubs and stuff. It's like, don't do that. It's probably not safe.
No,
But.
absolutely not.
Okay. All right. So best thing and least favorite thing about living in Raleigh.
So the best thing is how much is growing.
Mm-hmm.
All of the entrepreneurs that are here and all the place. I mean, now you have so many options that you have to make a list of
so true.
I want to. That did not exist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
So you're
true.
obviously you love New York, big city.
Yes.
So I guess Raleigh was a little sleepy back in the day for you.
Very.
Okay.
And I still New York is my absolute favorite place in the world. I have no doubt in my mind that in some way, shape, or form, we will have an apartment of some kind there. Whether we live there full time, I don't know. But I'll always be tied to New York.
Yeah.
So I think the energy there, it's different from Raleigh because it's a different city. It's a different geography. It's just totally different. So it's not anything bad against Raleigh, but I love the energy of New York.
Okay. So that would be a least favorite thing about Raleigh, less energy, less options? Or...
Well, I think sometimes too, and why the club was created was, Raleigh is an old small town and it's growing into a big city and there are more transplants. So it is becoming an easier place to meet new people. But I mean, a lot of people have grown up here, lived here their whole life. So they have their friends, they have their groups, and they don't really feel the need to meet new people.
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't love that about Raleigh. But again, it's changing. So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually, because I'm just thinking to our home regions and other places we've lived before where people do have those ingrained friendships. It does make it a little more closed off.
yeah.
We didn't experience that here in Raleigh because I guess we came in with other foreigners like us, and then we sort of met transplants a lot. So we've always had that kind of open, friendly atmosphere here where we've felt that we've been welcome. But I can understand if you have lived here, though, you're getting a different... If you grew up here with those tight circles, it's a little different, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So what excites you about the next 5 years of building your business in Raleigh, and what concerns about business opportunities in Raleigh?
I mean, I'm just excited. I don't really have any concerns because, I mean, when you build a in-person community during a pandemic, I feel it can't get much harder than that.
I guess it's like they say about New York. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. If you can make it through COVID,
made it.
I mean,
sky's the limit. So there you
really,
go.
it's like...
That's great. Yeah, positive.
Just going up. I mean, I see the Women's Social Club expanding even to different chapters here, a Holly Springs chapter, a Chapel Hill chapter,
there you go.
Because we have women that do, thankfully, they commute far
to
come and do it.
Durham last night.
Yes.
Christy?
Yes.
Came from Durham,
And then we had one of the members lives in North Raleigh. So it's they're driving 45 minutes to come to these.
Build it and they will come.
Yes. I think just building it out where it's people can sign up, they have a playbook, and they can just create their own chapters.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah. You got a favorite getaway spot in North Carolina?
Asheville. Hands down. Yeah. Next year, we're actually doing our first Women's Social Club retreat there. There's a flower farm, Flourish Flower Farm. Nikki is the owner. Again, a woman-owned business. They rent the farmland. It's 3 acres. It's a really, for a farm, it's not massive, but it is amazing. Her story is really cool. But we're going to be doing workshops on the farm. So we'll do a floral arranging workshop there. We're going to do a yoga workshop on the farm and then explore Asheville. So,
Love it. That's
awesome.
That's coming in August next
Yeah,
year. It's
yeah.
already
I'm
booked.
excited. I'm going to put it in my calendar.
Yes.
Yeah, sure, it's
thanks,
great.
Uncle.
I mean, we haven't really dived deep into Asheville. Like
Yeah.
we've done
Surrounding
short
areas
visits and
more.
stuff, like Biltmore and some
Yeah.
of the Blue Ridge
Oh, no, you
Parkway and
gotta
stuff
go
like that. But
downtown.
yeah, like the brewery scene.
Yes.
The live music scene too, if that's come back
Yes.
much.
And the entrepreneurship there
Mm-hmm.
with the creatives and
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Different
Yeah.
kind of
It's
entrepreneurship,
Owen's
isn't
favorite place to
Yeah.
go to.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
So,
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. So we'll be out to Bryson City and the Boone
Oh,
area
yeah.
Next
for
month.
Thanksgiving in December or November.
November.
That's going to be beautiful. Bryson
Yeah,
City is
hopefully
a fun
we'll
place.
time
yeah.
it for some leaf action, like
Yes.
the fall colors and stuff like that. And you've
Oh,
been to
yeah.
Bryson City?
Yeah, my brother went to App. So
Oh.
we've done a lot of holidaying around App.
The
So that we could be close to
Mountaineers,
him.
App
Yes.
State Mountaineers.
And then my aunt and uncle live in Boone. So, yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Any other
right.
questions?
Oh, I think we've just got our last question.
Oh.
What do you want to ask
Last
our
question.
guest?
Oh, you
Craig's
know-
looking at me. He's like,
you know-
oh my God, someone help me. What is the last
No, you know
question?
what I forgot to bring? I forgot to buy the
Vegemite.
Vegemite. We're gonna
Oh,
we're gonna do the Vegemite
Oh,
challenge for
God.
each guest. And
Hannah would have been such a great first kid.
have you eaten? Have you tasted Vegemite before?
I have.
Yeah?
Because one of my family friend members in New York was Australian.
Oh, there you
she
go.
was my very first Australian experience. So I have
All right, we'll have to
I
hit
have
you up.
tasted it.
We'll get you next time. But yeah,
Oh.
Vegemite on toast with. But
we'll give Hannah the version with melted cheese. on
melted
top,
cheese.
which
That's
is
a
so much
game
better.
game changer.
You'll
yeah,
get
I
it.
can't wait.
Yeah.
That could be the next Women's Social Club event.
Yeah.
Vegemite.
You can get it.
Yes.
You can get it at World
And then
Market.
all the members
There
leave.
you go.
Yeah.
Well, you can get a
Oh,
tiny
man.
jar for $9. It's like expensive for what we used to pay for, but you know.
Yes.
It's
It could be
imported.
like part of the charcuterie class we have coming up. One of the dip options.
All right, so
love it. So the
yeah.
last question.
Last question.
Go
When
ahead.
you hear the words "This is Raleigh," what
Yes.
comes to mind?
Fun.
Fun.
Yes. So I think of you guys, when I think of This Is Raleigh, I picture the pictures of you being like on the roof of the Dillon or food or
Yeah.
being out and about. I just think of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun place to be. It's
Yeah.
obviously, Raleigh's not touristy and the big attractions and stuff, but great places to drink, eat, and
Yes.
socialize and go and have fun. So.
Yeah.
So I think your answer then was talking about This Is Raleigh, our blog and website. Is that correct?
That's okay. Let it go.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
Yes.
Okay.
I think about you guys when I think This Is Raleigh. 'Cause
Really?
That's your
Yeah.
brand that
Okay,
you're
I need
building.
to. All right, do you want me to clarify the question? Oh no.
When I think about Raleigh.
yeah, like as
Like if you was,
an event,
date.
a place, a person, a drink, a dish, a festival.
Yes. I
like
think
if you
of
was
it.
sum up the brand of Raleigh, the city.
Yeah. I think of it as being like a big small town.
Yeah.
I think it will always, even as big as it will get. Charlotte is like that city. I mean, it feels like a
Yes.
more like banking.
Cool.
Like,
Yeah,
yes.
Yes.
The Queen City, the bigger
But
downtown and
Raleigh
stuff.
feels like approachable.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a big small town.
Yeah, we love that. That's
that.
initially what we loved about it. Not too big, not too small.
Yes.
Just the perfect size. And I mean, there's always something to do.
Yes. And they're doing a great job. Like the Downtown Raleigh Alliance, like Visit Raleigh. I mean, they're really pouring so much into supporting like the small business
Yeah.
owners and events and things like that.
Yeah,
So,
totally. Like, especially
Love it.
downtown. Like even ourselves, when we first moved here, we wouldn't come downtown not
No,
like
yeah.
Fayetteville Street
There
and
was
all
nothing there.
the heart of downtown.
No.
Like the warehouse district didn't exist like it does now. We're just on Glenwood South
Except
like
for-
every
except for
Friday and
white
Saturday
collar.
night.
Yeah. Yeah.
White collar crime.
White collar
That was in
crime.
the
Oh,
warehouse
turning
district.
back the clock. But yeah,
Yes, it was.
That was like,
It
oh
might
my God,
still
you
be.
know.
but yeah.
That's
so,
actually in the place where the trolley pub now is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, full circle event last
Wow.
night.
yeah, but Raleigh is definitely growing up. So
Yes.
in a good way. I like more options too, as long as they manage the growth and it doesn't lose its like whole fabric of the
Yeah.
city and stuff.
I think
But-
they're
and
doing a good job.
Keep the trees. Don't lose the trees, please.
I agree.
And the lakes. Like the greenness.
Yes.
I'm going to tie myself to those things if they try and take too many
I know
away.
you will. I can see it.
Well, thanks, Hannah, for coming and hanging out. It's been a fun chat instead of
been
everyone
fun.
just listening to us ramble on at home. It's nice to hear your story and doing amazing things out there. And
I'm excited to be here. It's fun. I mean, this is my first podcast, so
ours
I'm
too.
excited too.
No.
Yeah.
What's this, number 14 maybe?
Yeah.
Or something?
It's fun. We love
Yeah.
having you. Before we log off or whatever
Sign
you
off,
I don't know,
sign out.
sign out. Just tell everyone where they can find you.
So you can find us on Instagram at Women's Social Club and then online at thewomensocialclub.co.
Awesome.
Cool.
Hope to see you at one of the events coming up.
Yeah.
And we'll put all that info in the show notes and stuff and share the love.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much for joining. Thanks for everybody listening. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on wherever you like to listen to it.
And stay tuned for the Men's Social Club coming soon to
Craig's new
Raleigh.
Craig and Brian's new
God.
project. The Husbands. They should just call it The Husbands.
Right?
There you
I
go.
know.
Husbands.
Listen, if
so
it's
many
men
things come to
planning,
mind,
I can only
like-
imagine what will happen.
There'll be no trips to Vegas, and
No,
like,
it will have to be
No,
local.
this is the modern.
we're not going to
husband.
reincarnate that movie.
No, The Hangover, no. That is not happening.
It's a new age husband.
Strictly local.
New age
Local.
husbands. They're going to be.
New age husbands.
They're going to be waiting in the city while we're
Yes.
trolley biking around to drive us home.
Love that.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next episode.
Bye.
Bye.